Codebots Generate is a C# code generator to quickly get your project off the ground by configuring options and modeling your app structure. It includes things like a diagram database builder, CRUD API, which is optionally included, easily customizable configuration, your source code is delivered in a zip. Scrolling down, you will see this is the main features area. This area allows you to set the requirements of your application. We've already pre-selected what we believe to be the best combination of options. However, within this area, you can reconfigure your architecture, add an optional React frontend, and further integrations. Now, you simply start generating. This is the entity diagram. It is where you can model out your database. The entity diagram is very much like an entity relationship or database schema diagram. The first thing we're going to do is select an entity. To keep it simple, think of entities like a table in the database. Create a second entity to start building relationships between your data. Within the entity, you have a range of attributes you can choose from. Attributes belong to an entity and describe characteristics. For example, an employee entity might have the attributes name, height, and date of birth. Let's add an attribute, a string and a date. Now we need to create a relationship between the two entities. Relationships describe the connections between two entities. Once the relationship is formed, you can use the Properties panel to further customize the relationship. Now let's add a workflow status enum. Enums are a type of attribute that contain a set of options that don't change, kind of like a drop-down input in a form. You also have access to our snippets and templates. Snippets and templates are pre-made pieces which you can add into your app's entity diagram. They are based on common data patterns and they are regularly used in a lot of applications. The security diagram is where you define your end user's permissions. You have 3 options in Generate. Open security means visitors and anonymous users have full access to your application, and all of your API endpoints are unsecured. Authenticated security means authentication is required to access your application and API endpoints. Finally, you have the option of custom security. Once you select this option, you can toggle each group's ability to create, read, update, or delete pages and entities. The settings page simply allows you to set the requirements of your application. You already saw this at the beginning of the video. Now let's build our app. The fireworks are a visual representation of our bots writing your code and creating your file structure. At the bottom of the screen, you can see lines total, files written, and total megabytes. This gives you some insight into your application. The final step is the payment screen. This is where you pay and download your source code. Generate is currently in beta, so the source code is currently free. The code is then delivered in a zip. You will also send an email with a link to download your code and invoice. This is if you need your code in the future, you always have access to it. Finally, let's take a look at what the source code looks like. So first we will open up VS Code. Let's preview the README. You can see here that all of the information on getting started, features, and support is all here. Let's take a look at some of the code. We'll head to the file server side, and under that, startup.cs. This code serves the purpose of configuring our services and the request pipeline. Well, that's all. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to our support team or book in a demo. Thanks!